The relic's choice. Dr. Venza adjusted her crystalline sensors as she studied the metallic artifact embedded in the Martian ice. After 3 decades of excavating alien ruins across the solar system, the renowned Proximan archaeologist had never encountered anything like this. The armor stood 8 feet tall, its surface rippling with impossible patterns that seemed to shift when viewed from different angles. Energy readings are off the charts, her assistant Crix chittered, his mantis-like appendages dancing across holographic displays. The material composition doesn't match anything in our database. The discovery had thrown the scientific community into chaos. Found buried in Mars' Hellas Basin, initial dating suggested the armor predated all known civilizations by at least 100,000 years. The Galactic Council had immediately dispatched their finest researchers to the newly established Hellas Research Station. Another rejection sequence initiating, called out senior researcher Tulnk, her bioluminescent tendrils pulsing with excitement. On the testing platform, a Centaurian warrior approached the armor, his cybernetic implants glowing. The armor's surface rippled, then a pulse of energy sent him spinning across the chamber, his implants temporarily reversed to play ancient Earth cat videos. Dr. Venza sighed, adding another failed attempt to her records. In the 3 months since its discovery, the armor had rejected every species that approached it. Each rejection seemed more creative than the last. Yesterday, it had turned a Rigelian diplomat into a living quantum probability field who simultaneously experienced every embarrassing moment in his life. The armor's defensive mechanisms are unlike anything we've encountered, she dictated into her research log. It doesn't simply repel unsuitable candidates, it almost seems to be amusing itself. A commotion at the chamber entrance drew her attention. Director Yith, their Andromedan supervisor, glided in on a cushion of psychic energy. Dr. Venza, the council is demanding progress. We need results. Perhaps if we, she began, but stopped as new alarms blared. The armor's surface had begun pulsing with an intense light, forming patterns that her universal translator struggled to decipher. Incoming transport from Earth, Crix announced. The human delegation is arriving ahead of schedule. Dr. Venza's sensors flickered with concern. Humans were the newest members of the galactic community, barely spacefaring for a century. Their inclusion in this project had been controversial, seen by many as a political gesture rather than a scientific necessity. The armor's pulsing increased, its patterns shifting faster. For the first time since its discovery, it seemed to be reacting to something other than direct contact. Dr. Venza's crystalline mind raced with possibilities. All non-essential personnel, clear the chamber, she ordered. Something unprecedented was about to happen, and she intended to document every moment. What she couldn't know was that the arrival of humanity would change everything they thought they knew about their place in the galaxy. The ancient armor hadn't been waiting for the right person, it had been waiting for the right species. The mechanic's touch. Samantha Torres adjusted her tool belt as she entered the testing chamber. As the station's lead systems engineer, power fluctuations were her problem, even in classified areas. She whistled softly, scanning the readouts on her diagnostic tablet. "Ma'am, you can't be in here," a security drone buzzed. She waved her maintenance credentials without looking up. Level 1 power instability. I go wherever the systems need me. She approached the center of the chamber, ignoring the gasps from the assembled scientists. The mysterious armor stood before her, its surface dancing with complex patterns. Interesting power distribution, she muttered, circling the artifact. You're drawing energy in a helical pattern, aren't you? Pretty inefficient for modern tech. The armor's patterns shifted, focusing on her. For the first time in months, its energy signature stabilized completely. Step away from the artifact immediately. Director Yitha's psychic command boomed through the chamber. But Samantha was already reaching toward an access panel that no one else had even noticed. Your power core's running hot, she said conversationally to the armor. Mind if I take a look? Dr. Venza's crystalline sensors nearly shattered from the sudden surge of energy. The armor split open like a blooming flower, revealing an interior that perfectly matched human proportions. "Oh," Samantha said, blinking. "That's different. Genetic profile confirmed. Welcome, inheritor." The voice resonated through the chamber, speaking perfect English. Before anyone could stop her, Samantha stepped into the armor. It closed around her seamlessly, as if it had been designed specifically for her. Systems that had rejected the galaxy's finest minds activated instantly. "This is, wow," Samantha's voice came through the armor's external speakers. "The interface is incredible. It's like it's reading my thoughts before I have them." "Impossible," Director Yith whispered. "The armor's power output has increased by 300%, but it's completely stable." Dr. Chen rushed forward with scanning equipment. "The neural synchronization is perfect. It's not just accepting her, it's enhancing her." Samantha moved experimentally, the armor responding to her slightest thought. "There's so much data here, star maps, technical specifications, historical records. It's like a library of everything." The armor's AI spoke again, its tone almost proud. "Project Seedling status, successful. Human evolutionary parameters exceeded expected outcomes. Beginning full knowledge transfer." Dr. Venza's sensors detected quantum information streams flowing between the armor and Samantha's neural patterns. "What are you?" she asked in awe. "We were the gardeners," the AI replied. "We seeded countless worlds, experimenting with different evolutionary paths. But only one species developed exactly as we hoped, humanity. The perfect balance of curiosity, adaptability, and just enough recklessness to think beyond conventional limitations." Samantha laughed, the sound echoing strangely through the armor systems. "Are you saying humans are basically the galaxy's greatest science experiment?" "Not an experiment," the AI corrected. "A legacy. Our successors. The ones we knew would eventually be ready to inherit what we left behind." The implications hit everyone in the chamber like a physical force. Humanity wasn't just another species joining galactic civilization, they were the designated heirs of something far older and more powerful than anyone had imagined. Trial and error. The lab hummed with nervous energy as the human delegation arrived at Hellas Research Station. Dr. Venza observed their expressions through her crystalline sensors, a mix of awe and what humans called jet lag after their long journey from Earth. "Welcome to Project Legacy," Director Yith announced telepathically. "I trust your journey was comfortable." Dr. Sarah Chen, the lead human xenoarchaeologist, stepped forward. Unlike the other species present, humans seemed remarkably unaugmented, no cybernetics, no biological enhancements, just their natural form. "Thank you, Director. We're eager to begin our analysis." The armor's surface rippled more intensely than ever before, its patterns shifting in what Dr. Venza's instruments registered as complex mathematical sequences. The human scientists approached cautiously, their primitive scanning devices seeming almost quaint compared to the advanced xenotech surrounding them. "Fascinating," Dr. Chen murmured, studying the patterns. "These look almost like binary code, but with a base 12 system. Has anyone tried?" The armor interrupted her with a burst of energy that transformed her tablet into a device playing ancient Earth television commercials. The other humans laughed, a response that baffled the alien researchers. Most species responded to rejection with anger or shame. "Well, that's one way to say hello," Chen chuckled, unfazed. "Let's try something different." Over the next several days, the humans attempted various approaches. They played music to it, tried communicating through mathematical sequences, and even attempted to hack its systems. Each attempt met with increasingly creative rejections. One researcher found himself speaking only in palindromes for 6 hours. But something was different. The armor's responses seemed less hostile, more playful. Dr. Venza noticed it was generating less energy during rejections, almost as if it were conserving power for something. Your species displays unusual persistence, she observed to Dr. Chen during their third failed attempt of the day. Most would have given up by now. Chen smiled, wiping sweat from her brow. Humans are stubborn that way. Besides, it's almost like it's testing us, waiting for something specific. Director Yith glided into the chamber, their psychic aura crackling with frustration. The council is demanding results. They're threatening to shut down the project if we don't make progress soon. As if responding to the threat, the armor's surface erupted in a dazzling display of light and color. Patterns cascaded across its surface, forming what appeared to be star maps, DNA sequences, and mathematical formulas all at once. Look at this, Dr. Chen exclaimed, pointing to a recurring sequence. It's showing us Earth's position in various historical periods. This isn't just an armor, it's telling a story. Before anyone could respond, the station's power grid fluctuated dramatically. The armor's energy signature changed, becoming more focused, more directed. Something was about to happen, something the artifact had been preparing for since its discovery. The next few moments would change their understanding of not just the armor, but of humanity's place in the cosmos. As alarms blared and systems flickered, no one noticed the young human maintenance technician who had just entered the chamber, drawn by the power fluctuations. The stage was set for a revelation that would shake the foundations of galactic civilization. But first, they would all learn an important lesson about making assumptions, especially about supposedly primitive species. Legacy revealed. This changes everything, Dr. Chen breathed, reviewing the data streaming from Samantha's armor interface. The testing chamber had transformed into a hub of frenzied activity as researchers from every species analyzed the flood of information. New horizons. The news spread across the galaxy like a shockwave. In every major civilization, debates raged about humanity's newfound status as the Gardener's chosen inheritors. But in the Hellas research station, more immediate concerns took precedence. The armor's showing me something, Samantha announced, her eyes unfocused as she processed streams of quantum data. There's a network of similar artifacts scattered throughout the galaxy, waiting to be activated. Dr. Chen studied the star maps materializing around them. Each point corresponds to a major gravitational anomaly we've detected over the years. We thought they were natural phenomena. The Gardeners left us a support system, Samantha explained, the armor enhancing her understanding. Tools, knowledge, defensive systems, everything we'd need to take on their role as galaxy's protectors. The AI's voice resonated with approval. The network awakens. Other humans will find their way to our legacy installations. Each chosen for their unique perspectives, their ability to see solutions where others see only problems. Director Yith received urgent communications from the Galactic Council. Several members are demanding immediate oversight of all Gardener artifacts. They're claiming humanity isn't ready for this responsibility. That's exactly why we are ready, Dr. Venza's crystalline form pulsed with sudden insight. Any species that thinks they're ready for this power probably isn't. Humans doubt themselves, they question, they second-guess, they seek to understand before they act. The armor's surface rippled with patterns of confirmation. The greatest power must be tempered by the greatest humility. Watch. Samantha accessed deeper systems, revealing the true scope of the Gardener's plan. The artifacts weren't just tools, they were seeds of a new age, meant to guide the galaxy through coming challenges that would require cooperation between all species. We're not meant to rule, she realized. We're meant to unite. To help everyone adapt and evolve together. That's why you waited until we joined galactic society. The chamber filled with visions of possible futures, some brilliant with promise, others dark with potential catastrophe. The message was clear, humanity's inheritance came with tremendous responsibility. So, Dr. Chen said, smiling slightly, what's our first step? Samantha felt the armor's systems pulse with approval as she answered. We do what humans have always done. We learn. We adapt. We help others do the same. And most importantly, she grinned, we fix what's broken, one problem at a time. The armor's AI added a final thought, the galaxy faces its greatest transformation since our departure. But for the first time in 100,000 years, we are certain of its success. After all, humanity's greatest strength isn't in the power they wield, it's in how they choose to use it. As the various species in the chamber looked at each other, ancient prejudices and assumptions began to fade. The gardener's final lesson wasn't just about humanity's potential, it was about everyone's capacity to grow beyond their limitations. The future would bring challenges none of them could imagine. But facing them together, combining humanity's innovative spirit with the diverse strengths of all species, they had a chance to build something greater than the gardeners had ever dreamed possible. And it all started because one human engineer decided to fix a power problem.